Okay, can you hear me now? So that should be good now. So just let me know, Nicole, if you can hear me now, and I'll start again. Yay, yes. Excellent. So I'll start again, and hello everyone and welcome to Friday Live. So today we are going to be playing with some of my favorite products to create texture in your artwork, which of course are from Powertex Art Supplies, and you are just going to love what we're doing today. So if you have your arty supplies out, feel free to play along and as you're watching. So it will be a lot of fun today. Painting and mixed media is really my passion, so I absolutely love it. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited. And so today we're going to take another look at stone art. For the past couple of weeks, we've been looking at a few different ways that you can use stone art and Powertex Universal Medium in your artwork. And so if you've missed any of those, of course, you can watch them in replay. And today we're going to have a look at how you can use stone art to create a paste which will create beautiful, beautiful structural elements in your artwork. And of course, as usual, you can experiment and play with the techniques that I show you today, and that is where you will discover the wonders of this sensational medium. So we've got Nicole here, of course, and Kate. Hey, how are you going, Kate? So Kate, where are you from? So I know Nicole is just in Mandurah, just down the road from where I am. She's about 30 minutes away, and she runs some awesome classes out of her studio there. Carrie, hello. Just when you do say hello, and it is really lovely to hear from you guys that are watching. If you can let me know where you're from as well, it's always nice to know what part of the world you're from and who's here and who's watching. And of course, for those of you who are watching in replay as well, please let us know that you're watching too and where you're from. So Kate is from Hawaii. Awesome. Okay, welcome. That's excellent. All right, so of course, stone art is a refined paper pulp that creates an air-dried clay when you mix it with Powertex Universal Medium. So you can play with it in all sorts of ways, and it is essentially like a powder. So because it is, you can mix it to any consistency that you want. And of course, the other great thing is that you can actually use any different colours from the Powertex range as well. So today I'm going to use Powertex Universal Medium in ivory, and we're going to play with that because the nice thing about using ivory, of course, is that then you can take anything from your stash and you can spray your colours, you can paint it, you can do all sorts of things with mixed media, acrylics, any acrylic sprays that you have. Just play to your heart's content. So I will be, of course, using my favourites, which are Vista and Liquid Powers, and we are going to have some fun. So as I have already said, stunning effects for your artwork. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to show you a couple of things on the art table, and we'll zoom down there and take a look because, of course, if you have missed any of the lives that I've done this year, which have all talked about stone art, I'm focusing on stone art this month, and next month I might take a look at easy 3D flex and probably some liquid power and power wax. So I'm not sure which one yet, but I will be focusing on some of those wonderful products that are just so much fun to play with. So let's zoom down to the art table and take a look there. And so what I've got here, I might just pop a little bit more light on the scene. Okay, so what we have here is sort of playing with some of the techniques that I've showed you over the last couple of weeks, and also some of what I'm going to show you today. So it really is, everything is mixed up, and you can see the beautiful textural effects that you can create in your artwork. So this piece isn't resolved. It just had such beautiful textures and things on it that I really didn't want to touch it, because it's such a great little piece to just demonstrate some of the different looks that you can actually get. Okay, so in addition to that, I just wanted to show you I wanted to show you this little piece, which is something, again, it's a work in progress, but you can see it has progressed along a bit more. It's almost resolved. It just needs some really strong contrast in some areas and a little bit more definition. So some really strong highlights and some really dark darks, and just a bit of definition to define the landscape. So this is an interpretation of an Australian landscape, and of course our earth here is quite dry and very red ochre, and so you get a lot of these really beautiful earthy, dusty colours when you go out to places like the Pinnacles, and which are, of course, in WA, and when you drive up north and you see the grasses and the just the expanse of the Australian environment is amazing. So I thought I'd show you this because I am going to be hosting Powertex Asia later this year here in Australia. Some of the trainers from Powertex Asia are going to come over to Australia, which is super exciting, to do some workshops with me. So we'll be exploring interpretation of the Australian landscape, including some of the pink lakes that are up north, and you know, our beautiful oceans, and so I'll be doing a series of works. But what I'm going to be doing in February is I'm actually going to be running a course here, which will be a 4-day course, and it will be just exploring interpretations of the Australian landscape with mixed media. So that will keep me playing this month, so that I can teach you guys some really incredible things in that, but also it will mean that I've got some artwork and participants to show Powertex Asia what we're going to be doing later in the year. So it's very, very exciting. So huge shout out to Yvonne and Lucy from Powertex Asia, and to all of the people who use Powertex in Taiwan. Your artwork over there is absolutely stunning, and I am so excited to be having you here. And Kate's just saying, oh, that's really cool. All right, so let's take a look, because, sorry, I'm banging around here. But earlier this year, well, not this year, last year, late last year, Yvonne and Lucy came over from Powertex Asia, and they were here with me in the studio, and we had a chat about you know, what we're going to do, and it is super exciting what we have planned. And so while they were here, Lucy, I said to Lucy, oh, you know, I haven't used stone art much with the liquid powers. And so she did this really beautiful, we got into the studio actually and we had a little bit of a play, and she did this really beautiful demonstration, which is what's on my art table now. So you can see that. And you can't really see totally the beauty of it, but it just is such layered, gorgeous, luscious textural effects. So there's just some really beautiful layers in here. And of course, it's not resolved or anything. It's just it is actually, like I say, we just had a bit of a play for about an hour, and you know, she did this in about 15 minutes. So Powertex Asia in Western Australia, that's going to be epic. Absolutely, it is, Nicole. So I am super excited, and I can't wait to host the trainers from over there. So that was Lucy's one, and I went a bit mad with mine, as I do. And so this is done with the stone art and the magenta and the yellow and the purple in the liquid powers. So it actually already had a red background. The wonderful thing with Powertex is that you can keep layering it up. And so you can see some of those absolutely luscious layers that are in there. So I'm going to show you a little bit of that today. I won't show you Lucy's technique, but I will show you me playing with how I like to do things too. So yeah, just gorgeous. So we're going to have some fun now. So what I've got is, give me a second. So I've got a series of just boards that I've prepared. This is a painting that needs to be repurposed, and so I put a bit of a layer of gesso on it, and you can see some of the underneath layers actually coming through. So I could actually then collage some papers onto here and take textural effects onto that. These are just MDF boards, and I've just put a layer, like I say, of gesso just to seal the wood. But while I was putting the gesso on, I have actually also played a little bit with you know, the texture and mark making just with the white on white. But of course, with your Powertex, you're going to get, you know, just so much more possibility, especially once we start playing with the stone art. So you can see just some of the fun I just had just actually, you know, sealing my boards. So I'm going to take this one, and we will mix some stone art into a bit of a paste. So we need some ivory Powertex, or like I say, you can actually use any colour that you like. Black is also a really good choice for doing this. So instead of having a light texture that you actually you know, spray with your colour, you actually then have a dark texture that you can paint your colours in, rub your waxes onto, and all sorts of glorious things. And like I say, that depending on your underlayers, you can layer this up at any time. So you can really do a lot with that. Now, just remember that before you start working with your Powertex, you do want to give it a good stir and then a shake like you've seen me doing. I actually do that every time I use it. It's just a habit that I'm in. Now this is I'm using this one up because it's a little bit of an old one, so you can see it's got a few lumps there, but it's going to be perfect for this because of course I am creating texture. So I'm now using some stone art. So this is your stone art, and it is just absolutely gorgeous to use. And you can see it's essentially like a refined paper pulp. So it's got paper mache on there, wood powder mix. So with any pigments or any thing that's dusty, obviously you just want to work in a well-ventilated space if you're working with dusty layers and rubbing that off. So, or even, you know, wear a mask, wear a dust mask. So I'm just going to pop some stone art into there and give that a good mix around. Might want to make a bit more than this, but I can always make more up. And of course, if I wanted to as well, I could actually mix in power colours, I could rub in power colours, and of course your power colours are all your matte pigments. So we just want it to get a bit of body and a bit of structure. And I think I will mix a bit more because otherwise I won't have enough to play with and I'll be frustrated. So we'll just throw a bit more Powertex in there, and I can always use up what I don't use in the demo after the demo, and I love playing afterwards. So I should just keep the camera on because quite often some of the stuff that I do after the live is actually, you know, a bit exciting. I get excited myself. So, yes, so Powertex Asia and Lucy, Yvonne and I, we all had a really wonderful time while they were here last year, and we were sort of planning everything out, and we are excited to be collaborating and doing some things together. So stay tuned for more on that. And if you are interested in coming to my 4-day retreat in February and you're in WA and you want to come to that, it's not really a retreat because you're not, you know, I'm not going anywhere, but you might like to come and find some accommodation near me and stay for the week. And it's going to include lunches, and then we're going to have a grazing board on the last night, and a few wee swallies, a wee drink at the end of the time to celebrate, which will be lovely. Okay, so you can see this beautiful texture that I've got happening here. So it is just really gorgeous, and you can use that any way you like. So experiment and play to your heart's content with it. I'm just going to get some of it now, and we're just going to really pop some on here. See, I still haven't mixed enough, really. I'm just going to do the bottom of my piece, though. I might keep it so that it look at that, I need more. I've got a big board here. Okay, we'll quickly mix up some more. Kate, Hawaii, it's a bit of a long way to come, but maybe one day. Hawaii, I'd love to come over to Hawaii. That's been somewhere that I actually would like to visit. And what I do when I'm not working, I paint, and one of the things I do like to do is I like to get outside and paint on plein air. And this year, what is going to be happening with my artwork is I'm actually going to start using some of the drawings and paintings that I've done on plein air to actually use for my Australian landscape series, which will be using more textural effects, and but using the compositions that I've already created in some of my other paintings. So I'm super excited. I am really looking forward. Oh, that's really chunky and lovely. I will steal from there though, because, you know, and I'm just going to oh, lovely. So what you want is you want a bit of variation. You don't want everything to look the same. If everything is the same thickness, the same texture, you know, your brain gets bored. So you want to have some areas where you've really not got a lot happening. The other thing that you want to be careful of is you want to be careful how high you're creating that horizon. So I might actually just make it a little bit smoother there so that I bring that horizon down lower. Because otherwise, I'll just do some really nice flat texture up here, so it's really thin. Okay, lush. Now, of course, what I can do is I can also take cardboard, I can take papers, I can take fibres into there. So look at that texture that is actually created on here. We've got really some high texture happening. And it's nice to create little windows of surprise as well, that when people look a bit more closely, they discover something. So let's just play with that. Now, of course, this doesn't have to be my final layer of texture. I can actually take, you know, as many layers as I like onto here, and I can keep building. So you can see if I'm not happy with something that I've done previously, and the colour that was on this board was actually leftover colours from a workshop, then after the workshop, I just slapped it onto the board, and I went, yeah, I don't like that much, and I'll just paint over that. But instead of painting over the entirety of everything, I like to do it so that you get some of that underneath layer of colour actually showing through a little bit, and then that way you've got some very subtle elements happening there. Alrighty, so of course, if I wanted to, I could get some of our lovely 3D sand and balls, and I could use some of the sand in with the stone art paste as well, mix that in, or I can put some of the, you know, balls into that texture as well. So we'll just do a bit of that because we can, and it's fun. Kate's just saying, I want to go there, she wants to come here. I know, Kate, that there's a really great plein air painting festival in Hawaii, and I have thought how wonderful it would be to be able to come over for that. And yeah, if I was able to run some Powertex workshops over there while I was, you know, coming for some fun plein air painting. That would be really awesome. So, you know, I can just play with any of the sizes, and so quite often when I'm using the 3D sander balls, I'll go from large to smaller, but I can also, like I was saying, put the sand texture into the mix as well. So don't feel like you have to stick with the mix that you've got. I'm going to use up all of this because I don't like waste. Look at that lovely big lump that's come out of my old Powertex. I love it. So if you do have some Powertex that is a little bit older and maybe a little bit lumpy, this is a really good way to use it because, of course, it just creates more texture for you in your artwork. So I'm making this one a bit of a creamier mix. I love these spatulas. So I have two different types of spatulas. I've got one that is this sort of triangle-y sort of shape, which is awesome. And then I have one which is flat. So this triangle-y one is just good for being able to scoop up all the leftovers out of my bowl. For those of you who don't know, I actually was born in Scotland, and so I always say I like to get value out of my art materials, and yeah, there's a lot of jokes about the Scots, and you know, if they've got a penny, it will become copper wire, that sort of stuff. And I can only joke about myself because I am actually from Scotland, so I'm really taking the mickey out of myself. All right, so I can then, you know, that will be more of a smoother paste. And like I say, my intention is not really to cover everything that I've already got happening there. So just going to do that, and then I can throw that on there. I did want to just show you quickly what I can do with some fabulous tools. So normally I wouldn't do anything else up here, but you can find in your hardware store a lot of tiling tools which are used by tilers for gluing tiles and doing the tile cement. And these are fabulous for creating wonderful texture in your artwork. So there we have it, a bit of fun. So if you can't see that, I'll hold it up for you. So it is a lot more subtle, but that will get a really good texture. Now, normally I would probably allow that to dry off a little bit, but depending on how you do it, you'll get different sort of effects, and it is quite hot today, so it's not taking too long. Of course, we've had 40-degree heat here this week, so it has been a little bit warm. Now, for those of you who, well, really for all of you, just so you know, my Powertex business is taking a little bit of a different direction this year because I am just running a pilot program on, which is an online course for people to become certified Powertex trainers online. And so this is something which is available internationally. It is recognised in the US and in France and is internationally endorsed by Brigitte Grade, who of course is Powertex International. So it's a bit exciting. So I am spending quite a bit of time on that, and I have sort of been thinking about my face-to-face workshops, and I'm going to be cancelling a lot of those this year because I'm just getting really, really busy with everything that I'm doing online. And I want to keep creating and showing you guys stuff, So for me to do that, I need some time to get out into the studio and actually be able to play. Okay, I've got very messy hands now. I have got a cloth here though, which I can just give my hands a quick wipe down with, and I'll throw my tools in some water. And at least that will mean that I don't feel like I'm totally messy. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another board underneath me, and that's why I like to have more than one prepared, because then I can actually drip my excess colours onto the artwork underneath, and I can play around with those colours and move them about another time. So I've got canvas on my table, which means that if I get the canvas covered in stuff, it can actually, if there's interesting bits, I can cut it up and I can collage it onto my artwork as well. So there's another little tip for you guys. Now, I haven't gone through and had a look at all my liquid powers and made sure all the sprays are spraying. So it's going to be a bit of a surprise because it is really good if you haven't used them for a while to actually clean those nozzles. And what I'm doing now isn't really enough, but hopefully it will. Oh yeah, there we go. So I'm going to put down a bit of a dark layer here. So that is the black, and then just going to clean this one a little bit as well. This blue is lovely. Now, I am running a little bit low on some stock in Australia at the moment, and the liquid powers are one of those products that is a little bit low, but I will be bringing stuff back into the country as soon as the weather warms up a bit over there in Belgium. So now I'm mixing in some Vista with those liquid powers. And take some yellow. Yep. See, there was bound to be one. Okay, I'll have to sort that on there. Oh, look, there's another yellow in here. There we go. White. So this is the white in the liquid powers. More blue. A bit more white. So that's starting to look a little bit luscious. So look at those surfaces. So then, of course, because the liquid powers aren't fixed yet, because the Powertex hasn't dried, I can actually also spray water on there. And that's where I would really want that stoner layer underneath to be a little bit drier than it is at the moment. And I might take a bit of blue. Just turn that around. I know Nicole's probably going, oh, don't spray over that blue. I don't know what this is. I think it was something that has, I think it's some of the Vista. So we'll see if we can just tone that down a bit. Okay, and of course, once all of this is dry, I can do another layer. Yeah, Nicole's just going, ooh, luscious layers. So this is what Lucy showed me with the liquid powers, is that you can actually get a water bottle and you can spray back into your liquid powers, which is then where you get some nice, you know, layers happening, because you get all of those beautiful drips and things that you just wouldn't get if you were actually, you know, controlling it more. But you know, you want to just play with that and see how much of that you want to do. So you can see here how this is just going off onto my board that I've got underneath, and I'll show you up here. So it really, all of those layers of colour that I sprayed on earlier actually, you know, are starting to play through. And what I want to do is I want to let that first layer of dripping really dry before I turn it around, because otherwise the drip will just reverse and go back the other way. So I can play with that, and I can kind of pull that into there. So these are the sorts of things I'll be playing with, is just mixing up different media and playing, and you will be playing in that 4-day workshop. So it will be guided play, which will be awesome. All right, so I'm going to leave that there because it is looking rather nice, and I'd rather leave that to dry now, and then I can play some more with actually reactivating those layers of liquid power, because the great thing with the liquid power is that it's actually not fixed. And I've got some beautiful textures happening here, of course, where I've got these waves that I've put through. And so I just want to really run that colour around. And what will happen is it will actually grab into some of those textures that I've actually created. And I can do some of that, and I can put some more blue back into it, so it brightens it up again. I really like the combination of the Vista colours with the liquid powers, because the Vistas are more subtle. The liquid powers have really strong colour, which is actually really nice. And so what you can do is you can get subtlety of colour. And I had some really nice areas happening in there that I was loving. But if you, like I say, if you swish it around too much, you'll find that you cover all of those areas. And I'm actually, there's a really nice patch in here that I'm actually really liking. So I don't want it to go onto that lovely patch that is actually in there. And you can see what's happening now is if I don't let it dry, it all will just eventually just go grey. So you just have to avoid, you know, everything going grey. But I'm going to be doing some coral reef artworks because I've been going up to Coral Bay, which is the Ningaloo Reef here in WA. I've been going up there for 20 years, or longer than that, 22 years. And we go up pretty much most years and spend time with family and friends up there. And a couple of years ago, my stepdaughter got married up there on the beach, which was just really special because that's been our holiday place since they were growing up. So yeah, it was really quite special having her wedding up there, and it was super, super lovely. So you can see how these sorts of techniques are just really going to lend themselves to a landscape. And then of course I can paint back into them. I can use really anything. So I can play to my heart's content. So there's a playful piece, very unplanned, and you can see how beautiful that is looking. So the liquid powers and the easy 3D flex and the stone art and the 3D sand and balls, and it is just awesome to play with. And Nicole's just saying that she used the Liquid Power 3D Flex sand and balls yesterday, and it looks amazing today. Yes, so once those layers actually finish and dry, you know, you'll be amazed how it actually looks. And then, of course, like I have already said as well, you can actually then, I should stop fiddling and just leave it alone. But once this is dry, I can look at the layers that I've got and I can assess what more I want to do with it. So there is also a new product that I have bought a couple of them into Australia, and it is called Powertex. And you mix it with your liquid powers or your bisters or any other pigments, and it actually will fix the liquid onto your canvas. So it acts like, so with your bisters, traditionally the bisters will wash away if you wipe it off. It's going to fix the bisters in place. So very exciting times, and if you get my newsletter, I'll keep you posted there as well in terms of what is happening. But please PM me privately if you would like to come along to that retreat in my studio for the 4 days workshop. It's going to be absolutely brilliant, and this is the first time I've really mentioned it, so it will be first in, best dressed, and I'm only taking 8 people, so that will be maximum. So yes, get in and come along and we will have some arty fun. And the great thing now is that my studio is actually air conditioned, and so it's a lot more comfortable creating in there with the WA heat. So if you come along, you're not going to die of heat. Okay, so I'll pop back onto the screen. And does anyone have any questions about what I've shown you today? I hope you've really enjoyed that and got a lot out of it. And I had a blast because I just got to create and play, paint and play. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. So try some of those things today. And many thanks to Lucy for showing me some of her techniques while she was over here. And I can't wait to paint and play with Powertex Asia when they come over, and I can't wait to paint and play with you in my studio for the 4-day workshop as well. So stay tuned for that one coming up very soon. And as I said at the sort of during the live, I am going to be dropping most of my workshops this year. and I'm just going to be promoting what everyone else is doing, because everyone is really doing some beautiful artwork around Australia. And I'm going to start showcasing some of our beautiful trainers that we've already got going around Australia, like Nicole, who's Three Hearts Art Studio in Mandurah, and Nicole does a beautiful piece which is called Reef Jewels, and it is just gorgeous. It flashes with my heart because it's about Coral Bay as well. So that's a beautiful workshop, and she's also been developing some around some of her other travels with wildflowers and collecting bush nuts, and so she's really focusing on Australian artwork. So lovely. I will be featuring lots and lots of people, and I have some wonderful new trainers who are training currently with me for the pilot program of the Certified Powertex Trainers online course. And if you are somewhere in the world and you would like to learn more, I am now launching the new course. It will begin on the 11th of March. But there is an early bird special until the 16th of February. So if you would like to learn more about that, just send me a message, and I will organise a time to give you a call, and we can have a chat about what you would like to do. And as I say, that is already recognised in the USA and in France. So I currently have someone doing the course with me who's from Texas, so Sue Habera, and she does beautiful work with gourds, and she is doing some beautiful artwork now using Powertex as well. So stay tuned, Texas, for more artwork coming from Sue. And big shout out as well to Cheryl Boglioli, who has taken over Powertex UK, and you know, she has just such an amazing design sense. She's been on design teams for years and years, and now she is working with Powertex. So very excited to be have her as part of the Powertex International team. Yay! So, and of course, in my next course, I've got someone from France coming on, so, and someone from Norway as well. So it's going to be very much an international course, but I am really looking, and the primary reason I have created this course is to get people on board around Australia, because with the distances here in Australia, it has been exceptionally difficult for me to train people up properly around Australia. So I am looking for people in New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia, Tasmania, and the Northern Territory. But of course, if you're in any of the other states, you are welcome as well. So give me a message and let me know. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you. So next week on Friday Live, so I'll be showing you another way that you can use stone art clay. There is so much that you can do with stone art. And I will actually do a little demonstration of marbling with stone art clay, and I will be featuring some of some beautiful artwork as well. And just on that note, I should actually just share this beautiful work with you. So this is artwork by Brigitte Grade, who is Powertex International, and you can see some of those luscious colours and textures that are in there. So you can see how she's incorporated you know, you can incorporate corrugated cardboard and things like that. I don't know that she's actually done that in there. She's just, looks like it's just got this great texture. So there is so many possibilities that you can do with this incredible medium. So let's experiment, let's have fun, let's get creating, have a wonderful, creative and exciting year in 2024, and I look forward to seeing you next week on Friday Live. And of course, you can watch the replay to your heart's content. You can watch it again and you can play along next time. So see you soon, and thanks for watching. I wouldn't do this if you guys weren't here watching. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. And I love sharing with you what I'm doing. And thanks for listening as well to my rants. So have a wonderful creative week. You will find a lot of information on the Powertex Australia YouTube video. So if you want YouTube channel. So if you want to learn more about the different products that are in the Powertex range, last year I did a series of little explainer videos called What Is, and it goes through what are all the different products in the Powertex range. So that's really worth a watch, and you'll find heaps more stuff on there as well. Plus, please connect in our community on Facebook at the Powertex Australia Creative Hub. I love seeing what you create from these lives, and I love sharing with you guys. So ciao for now, and thank you for watching.